Well, the sun is shining after many days of rain, and there's still a bit of wind out there, so I just thought I'd do a preamble here before I go out. I'm going to gather some leaf mulch that a couple of years ago our municipality started a depot for leaves here because they were trucking the leaves that fall from there's a street where there are a lot of leaves, maple leaves, and they would truck that to the dump. So to be environmentally sound and cost saving, etc., they created a leaf depot, which is wonderful for us because we can go down and get leaf mulch. So that's where I'm going to head out right now. So I've just backed up. I think this is terrific. Okay, that's it for now. I've gotten 4 nice sized bags of leaves, and I'll come back again. Okay, I'm in the warmth now with my cup of tea, but I just thought I'd go through how we utilize these leaves. We're very barren up here, and we don't have trees, so just to be able to get our hands on them is wonderful, because it's a great addition, as we all know, to our soils, to amend them, and it's free. So first thing I will do is stomp on one of the bags, the smallest one, until I break them down. They crunch down. Some of them are crunchy. And one of the ones I particularly put in the dry ones on top. So those I'll just immediately stomp on and put them in my compost bin outside, because my compost bin right now is filled with greens and not very many browns. So I have to fix that up. Something we have to do sooner than later is get much better at creating our own compost. So I hope in the maybe even next season I can start going on. I just don't seem to have the time. I can barely get my vegetables grown, but something we must do. So that's a great way always to use your leaves. One of the best ways, I think, is to compost it down. And if you ever see, and great resources on YouTube, they just do sort of a chicken wire, fence sort of thing, and just put the leaves in. You don't even have to mow them or mulch them down, crunch them up. They just put them in whole, and eventually they will compost down into great leaf mold. However, the second way that we use them is in our raised beds. Now, we've only had them for 2 years, and they've only had this leaf depot for 2 years. So what we've done for the past 2 years is layer the beds that my husband makes, and he's going to be making more this year, so we'll be doing it again this year. A layer of, well, I think we've done both times, my uncomposted compost, because it doesn't compost fast enough, because I'm not very good at it, and then big layer of leaves, massive layer of leaves. We put as many, I think it's like 3 bags in, then on top of that. And then manure, sheep manure, we have regularly brought here in spring. and then good soil on top, sort of mixed in. And that's how we start a raised bed. And from then on, they're all no dig. I never dig. I never have in my life. And one thing to remember there is why we make sure that I add manure on top is because as the leaves break down, they use up, they create fungi and bacteria, which is perfect and wonderful. But that uses up nitrogen. So leaves being a carbon, they need extra nitrogen, and therefore it's the manure. So it works great. My vegetables do very well in this. The other third way that you really would like to, and we get close to it, but still not very good at it, is to push the leaves all the way till they're breaking down to leaf mold, which is ideal. Now we did have a couple of bags that were, I think, because I poked holes in the bags and I leave them till the spring when we need them. And therefore worms can get in and rain can get in and they break down. But I had one that broke down far better than others, and I think it's because I poked larger holes in it and more activity was able to go on inside it. And that was beautiful, beautiful. It was as close to the look of soil as you'd want. So I was very pleased with that. So I can do it. So that's the third way, but as I say, we just haven't focused on that. But my husband goes out, we gather some in the fall, and I use these right now, but we get the bulk, the most of what we want. In the spring, we'll go back to the leaf drop-off, and they will have decomposed quite a bit. And my husband just shovels as much as he can, as much as is there. There's a whole community sharing this, and we just lay that out. In fact, he laid it out in the bed in the back of the house that we planted straight into with nothing else there. I didn't think a thing would grow. And I told him so, actually. I was wrong. I even grew rutabaga out there. And though we had a short season, they weren't massive. I had some really perfect rutabaga growing out there. Couldn't believe it. Carrots, radish. Some things were smaller. Definitely, because they didn't have the nitrogen, and so your nitrogen levels. Kale was like, I don't know, this big, healthy, but very small. And flowers did well, so he proved me wrong there that with just a little amendment we can go a lot better. So that's it. I've rambled on long enough. Just a little blurb on how we use our leaves. So I thank you so much, as always, for watching.